Football Prizes sponsors Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Football Prizes gives you the chance to win the very best prizes the beautiful game has to offer. This is your chance to win a Borna Barisic signed and framed Rangers shirt for just £3.95, plus 10 additional chances of landing an instant win prize with every ticket purchased. Use code Club at 22 for 10% off your ticket. Go to footballprizes.co.uk or click the link in the description for this podcast to get your tickets.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Club Preview here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Thank you all for joining us in what is an absolutely unbelievable, cracking, sweaty weather. And we do apologise for making you have to listen to it, but do spare a wee thought for us who are all stuck in sweltering houses recording this at the moment. But it's a beautiful, beautiful weather at the minute. So I'd like to firstly introduce my guests. First up, we've got Ali Pearson. How's things, Alistair?
Very well, as you just said there, Scotia. It is absolutely scorching in my flat at the moment. I get this, the sun hits my living room in the afternoon, so it's like a sweatbox here. But I look forward to tomorrow. The weather looks decent tomorrow as well, so looks like shorts weather tomorrow, I think.
It does, yeah, definitely. I think you'll see a lot of people with shorts on. Yeah, it's roasting. I've had to move for where I usually record because I couldn't have done it otherwise because I would need my window open and the fan blowing. So, yeah, had to move. How are things with you, Carney? You any better?
No, absolutely not any better, mate. No, I'm the same. The sun hits the front of my house at this time of night, man, and this room is just ridiculous. Scottish houses are just not set up for this kind of weather. And the only positive we can have in it, it's probably just as hot outside as it is inside, but yes, it is warm. And we've got a tendency as a podcast to do shows on the hottest day of the year, so why break a tradition that started over the last couple of years? But good to be here, mate. If I pass out at any point, don't worry about it. Just remove you from the stream and carry on, mate.
Okay, keep that in mind. Hopefully not, though. Yeah, so here tonight, what we're going to do is have a quick look back over the Union Sangiovese game on Tuesday night there, where we managed to come from two behind in the tie to progress to the playoffs with a cracking 3-0 victory over them. Then we'll also have a wee bit of discussion and some other news that's come up during this week. And finally round up with a wee preview into the game against St Johnstone tomorrow at 3 o'clock at Ibrox. So firstly, I don't know, Ryan's obviously not here at the moment, but I do think he might be popping in later on during the show. But the boys done a wee review of the USG game, quite a wee off-the-cuff review once you get back in from Ibrox and Tuesday evening there. But I think we can maybe just go into it in a wee bit more detail now that you have had the chance to calm down, because the adrenaline, I'm sure, was still flowing when you were recording that, and kind of just dissect the game a wee bit. So Rangers lined up with McLaughlin, Tav, Goldson, Sands, Borna Barisic, Lundstrom, Lawrence, Arfield, Kolach, Kent. We're missing someone. Tillman as well was in there as well. So for me, I wasn't overly surprised with that team. I think had we done a sort of preview pod before it or a club deck corner before it, I think that would have been my team apart from Scott Arfield. That he was a wee bit of curveball for me, but I think you guys in the pod, Ali, come to you. You were the same in terms of that was a wee bit of a surprise for you.
Yeah, the Barisic one, like I said to Carney in the post-match, wasn't a surprise because we were having a discussion in the pub, Scotia, about the left-back slot, and we both said we would play Barisic, so I wasn't shocked about that. Arfield, yeah, I was shocked to see him in there, to be honest, but like I said to Carney, he likes Scott Arfield. Exactly, I thought Kamara would have played in there, but he does like Scott Arfield, and it was quite an attacking lineup when you looked at it, to be honest. So I was happy enough with it, but the Arfield one was a semi-surprise.
Yeah, and Carney, you surprised with that at all, or now that you've had a wee chance to think about it more?
Yeah, definitely, mate. I was shocked that he decided to go with Arfield, but I mean, maybe a wee bit unfair on him, I suppose, considering what he's done for us in important games. And I think it was more all about the breaking the lines, runs that he does into the box in order to support the striker. So I think that's Probably why he was picked, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, slightly shocked for me, but maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure, but it was, yeah, it's not a bit of a shock. Sorry, I just got distracted.
So did I. I'd seen that.
Jimmy Rossbottom has just donated £25 to the channel, mate.
Smashing.
Absolutely
Superb.
fantastic, mate. Thank you so much, mate. That is absolutely amazing. Class. It's made sweating myself.
I thought that was a wind up at first when I seen it.
I was like, what's going on there?
That's you sorted, Scotia, for your beers.
That's
That's
absolutely
just
superb.
knocked me for sixes. Yeah, cheers, man. Cheers,
Yeah,
Jimmy.
wow, mate. Yes, I will definitely get the beers on tomorrow for that, mate. Fantastic, Jimmy, mate. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, the night on Tuesday night was great. I mean, first half, I thought we were pretty decent. You know, we were showing improvements game on game. I've been feeling we were certainly looked a lot more dangerous than we had the week before. But you were getting to that stage as halftime was looming that you're getting that wee bit more nervous, wee bit apprehensive, because really the only other chance we had was when Lawrence whipped in the ball and Cholak was really unlucky just to head it over. And then obviously just before halftime, Barisic whoops in a really, really deep ball that he's starting to do a lot more often. I've noted that he used to sometimes go behind, but he's swinging in from deep an awful lot now. But he does that, and whatever the defender's doing, I've got no idea. He's got plenty of time to think about it. It's not like it's curving away from him or anything. Handballs it, straight handball, and Tav steps up and with the penalty. So yeah, Ibrox are up. It gave me a headache because it was really warm on Tuesday night at Ibrox as well. And that way, when you stand up and roar a goal, I just started feeling a migraine coming on. And it was a wee bit annoying because you can't celebrate it as much as you want because you need to go, oh no. But yeah, first half for you, Carney, what were your thoughts?
That's because your version of water, mate, is a pint of Tennent's. That's probably why you got a bit of a sore head on a warm night, mate. First half, yeah, I see, even back to Arfield, mate. Sorry, because I got distracted by that. After seeing the game back, Arfield was making the runs. We just weren't really finding them at the right times for it because I said it on the post-match, we were still a wee bit too conservative at times. I felt like we were just not willing to take that chance. And maybe if we had done, we would have found Arfield quicker. By the time he was getting the ball and some of the runs that were getting made to him, the defender was already right on top of him and he can't really do very much with the ball at that point. And I think one of their centre-backs in particular is quite a sizable man in comparison to Scott Arfield, so it was quite easy for him to deal with. But in the first half, mate, yeah, I thought Rangers dominated. I thought it was so good that the crowd were the way they were. I thought the turning off of the tannoy helped matters to build the atmosphere, but I think the atmosphere kicked into a different gear when we went into as soon as the game kicked off, and the team showed us that they were going to do it. They were willing to give everything. And once they do that, that's how you get Ibrox alongside you. And I think taking the lead was more than we deserved in that first half. And yeah, the size of the Manscaped bollocks on James Tavernier, mate, to step up and slot that penalty home. It was a pressure penalty and a half because it came at exactly the right time for us. So no, a good first half, mate. Much better intensity in the play, much more penetration happening, and it was an improvement to the first half that we'd seen against Kilmarnock at the weekend. So no, a decent first half.
Yeah, Ali, Carney touches on a couple of points there that we can maybe discuss. One of them being like Arfield maybe not kind of being with the team, but I think you can see that the team's kind of growing game by game and kind of getting to know everyone and how they play. That it's slowly cohesing together, and then also the crowd, yeah, were fantastic yet again on Tuesday evening. Once again, though, we were just slightly late for kickoff because we mistimed our departure from the Viceroy once again, so we'll need to be on top of that for the PSV game on Tuesday. But what were your thoughts kind of on Arfield, the team, and then the crowd in general?
Yeah, they say we get in basically. I think the game had kicked off when we get in Scotia. We get a minute was on the clock when we get in, so they need to get that sorted, Rangers. I'll have a quick wee moan about this because the problem with the club deck is there's a lot of general sale tickets go up there. So you've got people that go in that don't know how to use the QR code. They see guys with season tickets putting it on the thing and they think they have to, and it creates grief. And I get I was actually working as a steward at Ibrox a couple of weeks ago, telling people how to work this. That's how bad it got, because nobody knew how to do it. And I had to actually get a guy's phone off and do it for him. But it's frustrating because you want to get in there. But at the same time, Scotia, it probably is our fault because we did leave it a little bit too late to get the ground. So we'll take responsibility there. But in terms of the game, I just thought I'd morph back to Kilmarnock at the weekend again, and that wasn't. I thought Rangers were good. I thought they had all the ball, but USG just, like I said to Carney, took Kilmarnock's playbook and just sat in. And fair play to them, because they're 2 up. They've got the right to do that. If they came and played football against us, we probably would have picked them off in the first half because we are a better footballing team than them. But the goal was massive just before half time. It really was. If we'd went in at 0-0, yeah, we'd still have a good chance of turning it over, but we may have struggled. The crowd may have got a bit of a grumble in the second half. The crowd didn't, stayed with them, but I still think that goal was massive in terms of the completion of the game.
Yeah, definitely. But we go in 1-0 up, and then we've got a full 45 minutes to see the game finished and complete within the 90 minutes. And we get into the second half, and Rangers up the tempo a wee bit more. You can see us getting better and better again. And that goal comes fairly quickly once again. There's a cross in from Lawrence out to Tav on the right. He smashes it back. It drops to Arfield. You think Arfield's going to score, but we've been here many an occasion with Arfield that sometimes he'll rip the net with that, and an awful lot of other times it'll go to the keeper or go wide or something. But we're fortunate with the way the ball breaks, and Cholak's there to head it away to make it 2-0. Thoughts on the goal, Pearson?
Yeah, good goal. Like you say with Arfield, he's frustrating Arfield because he will rip the net, or he will have a kind of... It was a decent enough shot, to be fair, for Arfield. And Big Cholak was there where he should be, where all strikers should be, and just follows up and puts in the back of the net. So I was happy for Cholak, because that's him scored in the last 2 games now. Should have been the last 3 because of the Livingston goal. It was wrongly disallowed. So that's what he is, Cholak, though. I described him as like a Chris Boyd. He's a penalty box striker. That's what he is. He's not Alfredo Morelos. But I was pleased for him. And at that point, there was still a good half an hour to go in the game. And I did think, yeah, there's more than enough time for us to go and win this game. So it was a massive goal, and fair play to the big man.
Carney, I think the 58th minute mark's probably a wee bit later than Ali would prefer his early goal in the second half, but it did set us up really, really well. What did you make of the goal?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I did mention on on Tuesday night after the game that there was a 5 minutes into the second half where we just had a bit of a... There was just a collective of errors. There really was. It was a very strange thing to witness. Just so many poor decisions. And then, yes, from after that, we just went from strength to strength again. And Arfield's probably unlucky with this one because it's kind of falls to his left foot. He's not really sure whether he should take a touch, and he's still caught in 2 minds by the time he goes to strike the ball, I think. So give him a wee bit of leeway there. And yeah, Cholak, this is what Cholak will do. This is what he is. He will be in the right place at the right time. He will pick up pieces, and there's a lot of comparisons. Ali did it as well, I think, on Tuesday night with a kind of Chris Boyd-like striker, if such things still exist now. And yeah, I think that's probably what he is going to be. I think if the chances are going to be there, or there's going to be a chance falling in the box, I think he's very good at being in the right place. And I think he could have scored more if he wasn't being asked to do the kind of chasing down that we like to do, the press that we like to do. Not that I don't think he should be doing that. I do think that, but I think if he was allowed to just kind of free roam, then yeah, I bet he's got more pace than Chris Boyd ever has had in his life. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of Cholak. I think he deserved his goal, and he's doing exactly what we bought him to do. He's scoring goals. So I can't be too critical of him. I'll just agree with what Ali's saying. He's not going to be Alfredo Morelos, and he never will be Alfredo Morelos. It just isn't going to happen. But in terms of his return so far, I don't think we can grumble.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoke about this a few occasions after the games. The criticism that Hateley kind of dished out at him the other week there, that yes, he's not had many touches, but he's scored 2 goals now. It should be 3. He's not had the service that he probably needs to have for him to be as effective as he can be. But I've been impressed with Cholak so far, and hope he goes on to have a good season. So after the second goal, there was another couple of chances. Lundstrom had a really good effort that the keeper done well to save and parried it away. But the third goal came on the 79th minute when the man from Croatia, Borna Barisic, looped in another looping deep ball. And I know you've mentioned this in the post match that you've done, but I did.
I bet you wish Ryan was here right now. Honestly, yeah, I do. I bet you had this teed up for Ryan being here, mate.
Yeah, I did indeed have it tied up for Ryan coming, because I did say in the group chat that I reckon I will score the winning goal. I did say put the fourth goal for Morelos, but it would be a Borna Barisic cross in. But no, Spike swings it in, and Tillman does really well. The keeper makes a complete howler of it, to be honest, but Tillman still does really well to head that away. And again, Ibrox are ups. And then we kind of see the game out after that, looking fairly comfortable. There is the incident where Sands looks like he's potentially getting sent off. When you watch it back, even at the time, no way was that a yellow card, let alone a red. Don't know what the ref was doing. He was pretty poor. I don't want to go into the ref too much again, because I know you moaned about him on Tuesday night after the game as well. But we see the game out. Apart from that, there was a wee 5-minute push at the very end by USG. That's us 3-0 and through to the playoffs against PSV. What were your sort of final thoughts on the game, Carney?
You'll never guess who's just arrived, mate. You'll never guess who's just arrived to the room. Good evening, Glenn.
It's just in time, right?
How are things,
Ryan? Talking about... lads, do you want my team? Is it time to give you my team, is it?
We were just talking about Borna's cross, mate.
Yeah, so you can give us your thoughts on Borna.
I can give you my thoughts on Borna, but it's a family show, so I will keep my language to a minimum. Is that where we're going? We're going straight in with the Borna chat, are we?
We're pretty much just pretty much rounded up the game. Yeah, so if you just want to give us your thoughts.
Yeah, in the game in general, I thought Rangers played well. I think we've got other gears to go, Scotia. I think we played well enough to beat a team at that level. And the intensity there was there with Rangers, I thought they were, from the off, I thought they were hungry for it, and the complete opposite as they were the previous week. There's a lot of good performances. I thought defence were tight enough. I think we mentioned it in the previous pod that the only thing I feared was ourselves. I thought the only chance of that USG had a scoring was us mucking up, and any chance they did have, or any sniff they did have at our goal, was because we were maybe not holding on to the ball well or recycling the ball correctly. And there was a wee 10-minute spell where I was I think we're still up with 2-0 at the time. I think it was 2-0. No, it was 3-0. And we had a wee 5-minute spell where we just couldn't hold on to the ball, and there was a bit of nerves kicking in. I thought it was screaming out for Stephen Davis, but no, they held on and they got the job done. I thought it was very good to beat a team in a qualifier 3-0 after being 2-0 down. And Borna Barisic obviously got the assist for the winning goal. I'm pretty sure it was heading for the club deck. You must have thought you were going to catch it, Ali. It was that high across, but I mean, Tillman makes it. Tillman, for me, I'm going to say this because I'm not a Borna fan, Tillman made that cross look good, because I don't think there's a person in the stadium thought that it was anything but that keeper catching that. And yeah, great night, and I am looking forward to seeing Yilmaz at left back tomorrow.
Clue to your team there, yes. Any final thoughts on the games, Ali and Scott?
No, I think I mean I thought Borna was better than I expected him to be, and after seeing the game back, he grew into the game a lot. I thought the first half he was still far too negative. He was taking too many touches and always going back the way when the pass was on for him to go forward. He's got to hit that cross to win the penalty, and he's got to hit that cross for Tillman to get on the end of it. So he has to. He still gets an assist to his name, I suppose. But it is Tillman that makes that goal. I mean, the keeper has had a howler, man. It's an absolute stinker. But Tillman is about 15 foot in the air when he meets the ball. So I thought he was great. Again, I said don't want to repeat everything that I said on Tuesday. I'm sure people have watched it. Thought Lawrence was superb, and I'm the same. Looking forward to seeing Yilmaz at left back tomorrow.
Pearson?
Yeah, not much. Me and Carney done quite an in-depth one, I thought, the other night on the game. We talked about it for about half an hour or so. So, no, I was just delighted they did it, Rangers. Same as Ryan. I thought at 3-0, I thought we could have went and just killed the game completely after that, but we've hit a wee lull, which we usually do, and piss about with the ball. And that's when we're worst enemy at times because they'll score from us making an arse or something. It nearly happened with John McLaughlin with that pass back to Sands where he get booked. That was the most Rangers thing ever. That's how they would score against us. But obviously the referee with a howling arse of it. But absolutely delighted and just buzzing to be back on Tuesday. And on Tuesday, I don't know if you said about the Scotia, you're going to say about it. The Champions League song will be at Ibrox for the first time in God knows how many years because it's a playoff, so we'll get to hear it.
I will remember.
You
I
sure?
did know that, but
Yeah,
it will be. I did remember that. I did know that, Pearson, but I wasn't going to mention it because it completely slipped my mind. So yeah, well done for bringing that back up. So we definitely need to leave the Viceroy early on Tuesday night.
I tell you one thing, by the way, sorry, Scotia, there's only one team that benefits, and it's us. Because Ibrox will erupt. Ibrox will erupt when that music plays. So no, that's good. That's quite exciting.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing Charles Green making an appearance.
So I mean, looking forward to that. Like we were mentioning about the fans earlier, I think the fans over the last sort of period in Europe have been absolutely magnificent. Like we were talking about Bonner there was a few grumbles going around through the ground coming into the end of the first half. I think in previous years, that those grumbles would have been an awful lot louder. I think the fans are kind of really on board and are really playing their part in Europe. So hopefully we can do the same next Tuesday. I think we are going to bring you a quick preview of the PSV game on Monday, so we won't get too much into the PSV game at all, and we can discuss that once the games at the weekend have been played. But something that did come out during the week in regards to the PSV game was the ticketing information. I think it came out on the Wednesday that there was a large swathe of seats that were getting moved if you were a season ticket holder due to kind of the UEFA regulations in terms of away fan attendance. Straight away, Ryan, you were into the group chat about it going, look at this. So I thought it was well worth discussing it. I know subsequent to that, PSV haven't taken all their allocation, but do you just want to give us an overview of why you brought it up so quickly when it came out and your thoughts on the thing?
Hold on to your seats, everybody.
No, it's not going to be a negative because I think you guys definitely know how I feel about. It's just back to this when the club make out that we are at the heart of the club and fan engagement and all these other things. But do you know what? We'll just shift all you season ticket holders and what was it, GR4? We'll just shift all yous because UEFA. I know it's a thing in every stadium. In European games, they have so many seats allocated to them. I don't have an issue with that. You can't get your way around that. So the fat cats get their seats, or the sponsors, or whatever. That's the way the world works. I totally get it. But why not give them? I don't know if it's still a thing, but at the back of the club deck, I think it's the back 2 rows or something like that. There's complimentary tickets everywhere around that stadium. Do we have to give them season ticket holders seats at probably one of the best seats in the stadium for a view, right at the halfway line in the Govan rear, and just rip out all the season ticket holders? And not only that £2 was it a £2 off your next match day ticket? That's what they were giving fans. £2. That is. I'm trying not to rant, Scotia, but that if I don't sit in GR4, I sit in the front, but I used to sit in GR5, and I think that's an insult to any fan that sits there. £2, that would be enough for me to consider jacking my season ticket in. That's how passionate I feel about it. I think it's an insult. I think they don't care about the fans, and I was the same as you. I'd read that some of the tickets are coming back, and that's good, but just don't be giving me this fan engagement and we're the heart of the club. We are not the heart of the club, and knocking things like that back or saying to UEFA you can sit elsewhere in the stadium where we can get you in would show me that we are the heart of the club, because without us, especially on those European nights, that team and that club ain't much.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a couple of different things that factor here. There's obviously, I think the UEFA regulation still that for European away games, it's 5% of the stadium capacity is the allocation for away fans. So that's roughly about 2,500 for our stadium, which I think, taking that into account, when was the last time that the kind of the side of the Broomlin get taken over by away fans? and get moved for a European game, because I'm still scratching my head. Like, the last one that I can honestly think of off the top of my head was when we played Man U back under Walter. There must have been more in between then.
Was that the foot? Did they get 3/4 of the Brimley in front that day?
It was nearly a half, I think they got. Yeah, so
was it?
I think they got.
I remember because I was actually, I don't know why, but I was in the Brimley Reel that day because I remember sitting above them. But yeah, I think you might be right. I think that's the last time that the allocation get moved for away fans. Can't think of any other time apart from Celtic games, obviously.
Yeah, so you've got that one, which obviously we've not seen in ages, and COVID and things has changed things. So that might come up in the future games during the season in Europe, if the away team does take that full allocation. But you've also got the one that you were kind of going on about there, Ryan's the UEFA delegation one, that I think they're required to sit in certain seats with certain standards of viewing, which is why GR4. I know there's a section just behind you, maybe, Carney, and I'll come at your thoughts on this, just behind you, where there's a couple of rows in the club deck where away fans get to sit as well.
Yeah, there's a number of times there's been people put at the back of the club deck from us, mate, and it is all down to the ridiculous UEFA rule of a percentage of the seat has to be in, like, not the best seats in the house. I don't mean it like that, but they have to be on, like, the halfway line, and they have to have, like, an unrestricted view, etc. So yeah, I think, I don't know how much of that is season tickets behind me. I'm not 100% sure how much it is, but like, the whole thing has been a bit of a farce from the start to finish, and I completely get where Ryan's coming from as well. I mean, £2 is it's an insult. It really is. I mean, it just is, for the inconvenience of it. And I don't even think £2 gets you a pie at the stand at Ibrox. I mean, it's useless. It's absolutely useless to anybody. So yeah, a bit of an insult with that. And now the carry on that's happened, that some of the people get moved and get told to buy other tickets. Now UEFA have come back and said, "Oh no, we now don't want these tickets." So they've went and bought tickets in another area of the stadium, and now they can't move back to their original seat. And it's like, it's just a farce. It really is. Yeah, so apparently that's what's happened, which is, it's a farce. It really is a joke. UEFA have handed stuff, tickets back, and it is a shambles. And Rangers still have a lot of work to do in terms of their fans. And I know I hate being too negative, especially such a sunny day and etc. and after such a positive win. But the club, they still need to do more, because it's not good enough. I've seen a few people as well. I've said in the comments, it's about time Ibrox expands, and that, honestly, I would forget about that dream, because it's never going to happen, in my opinion. It's just not, I don't ever see it. Maybe later on in my lifetime, possibly, but in the next foreseeable future, and by that I mean the next 10 years or so, I just don't see it happening. It would cost far too much for it to happen. So yeah, Rangers need to do more, that's for sure. I understand UEFA take over the stadium on European nights, and it's up to them what they do with it. Really, it's really not in to do with Rangers. But I mean, £2. I mean, I can't even believe somebody sat down and spoke to somebody and they went, £2 good, brilliant, I get that, yeah, send that out to them. Just sounds a wee bit money grabbing to me, especially if you've moved from GR4, which is the centre of one of the best seats in the house, I would imagine. Anytime I've sat in the governing, it's a fantastic view. So, and you're maybe sitting now, down in the enclosure, or down, like, no disrespect to the people that sit in the enclosure, I don't mean any disrespect by that, but still, it's not what you're used to, and it's certainly not what you pay for. So, yeah, I reckon a lot of people told Rangers to stick that £2 somewhere, £2 somewhere.
Even taking into that £2, taking into account the £1 booking fee on the website as well, you know.
Aye.
You're saving your booking fee.
Well, don't even start on the website as well, mate. I don't know how many times we're going to need to talk about this bloody website, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, there was lots of points there, Carney, you brought up that we could discuss, and, you know, that it could last a whole entire pod itself, in particular with the stadium expansion, things like that. But I get where you are coming from, man, in terms of, it was just, I do also have a wee bit of sympathy for Rangers in the fact that they've only had like a week to turn this round, less than a week really, to turn it round. So a lot of the blame lies on UEFA for selling the World Cup to a country that was going to play it in the middle of December, that results in this congested European season. But I think what I need to take into account as well is, I wasn't one of the people that came up that your seat is one of the seat movers, so would probably be a lot more angry if it was me. So I do understand why people are so frustrated. But what are your thoughts on this, Pearson?
Yeah, it's same as the guys. Pretty much covered it, to be honest. When I went and looked online first when they said it was about seat movers, it's correct. There's some amount of sections they put. And it was a wee bit random as well the way they'd done it. I don't know how they come up with that, but there was lots in the club deck. Obviously, that GR4, which is now became available again today because they've handed the tickets back. Like what Carney was saying, is a farce because these guys pay good money to sit in that GR4. Similar to us in the club deck, you pay for your view, if you want to say. That's what they're used to, and they're going to get shifted to other ends of the grounds. And like Carney says, no disrespect for other ends of the ground, but getting shifted for a Govan rear in the middle to Broomloan front, for instance, it's not the same seat. So I understand. I do have sympathy with Rangers to a point in terms of these are UEFA's rules, but luckily enough, I wasn't a seat mover, so it's difficult to give an opinion because we weren't affected by it. If one of us was affected by it, Scotia, like you say, I'm sure we'd have a bit of a rant in here tonight.
Yes, so that was kind of no rant here, but you know it's about half an hour gone, so that's
Oh,
time for a word from our sponsors.
Here we go.
So, have you putting the wee video up? No, you
Yeah,
usually
you
stick
go,
that video. Oh, there we go.
Hey,
Sorry. Got Bush? You definitely do if you haven't tried the best products from our sponsor, Manscaped. Taking control of your bush is important. These products are so good you're going to be showing pride in your new bush-free garden. It's a fact that you will have the best kept knapsack on the cul-de-sac. Save big and be the most hygienic version of yourself by using our discount code CLUBAT22 for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Crotch discomfort art in your game? Fear no more. The kings of crotch comfort, Manscaped, have spent 2 years designing the most comfortable boxer briefs out there. Sleek, soft, comfortable and flexible. The brand new Boxers 2.0. Take your balls to the royal ball throne. The global leaders in below-the-waist grooming have the Lawnmower 4.0 for the trimming, so you can wear the Boxers 2.0 for the chilling. Finish it off with Crop Preserver, Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver, the spray-on testy toner, which is everybody's favourite. 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. What will your balls do, everyone?
They will thank you.
well, thank you.
Well done, Scotia.
That's getting longer and longer.
You had your like professional phone voice on there and everything, mate, like you were working in a call centre or something.
You just get that from reading something off a script. I should have maybe prepared my lines better, for doing this. But yeah, that'll do with the advertisements, but I do recommend everyone go and check it out if you haven't. I had sent stuff through to you last night that I was thinking, obviously Jack Simpson has went away during this week and we could maybe spend some time talking about transfers. Do we need to strengthen further? What's going to happen with kind of the younger players in our team, in particularly Lowry and McCann? I was maybe going to spend quite a wee bit of time in that, but given that the transfer window's got 2.5 weeks left, we can maybe let this slide to another week because some further news came out, or bigger news came out last night that I think it's important that we discuss, and that was that the SPFL are currently in discussions with Sky to extend the current TV deal until 2029. At present, it runs until I think the end of the 24-25 season. So I think it was The Guardian that first broke this story, and can I explain, set it all out what was happening. So currently Sky have got 48 games that they can show, although they rarely do, and they're giving us about 25 to 26 million pounds a season for that. This new deal would start from 24-25 season, and they'd be able to show 60 games, but the price of the deal is only worth 27.6 million, something like that. There's a few wee incentives, or they say incentives, and I'll maybe discuss this later, of 5 games pay-per-view for the clubs that they decide not to show. But this has been met with a bit of uproar, Carney, in terms of it's not a very good deal.
If people are saying that we were being negative, my goodness, it's all just about to get even more negative. But something very positive, Justin Muir. Thank you very much for the $9.99 dollars. Is it dollars?
Aye. Must have been America.
Continental. No, much appreciated.
We'll need to
mate.
get our
Thank
America
you.
trip back on, Pierce.
God bless America, buddy. God bless America.
Yes, that's superb. No, Justin, that's fantastic, mate. Thank you so much for choosing to support us that way. That is that's amazing. Yeah, so this absolute farce. So I don't know what needs to happen in Scottish football for the rest of the clubs to actually decide that enough is enough, because it is shockingly bad how bad this deal is, and there is so many other options available to Scottish football for broadcasting. I mean, there's all sorts of streaming services now. Streaming services you've never even heard of. Filipino ones that you were making us aware of one time in Scotia.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, there is so many. There is so much better deals. I heard that Disney have paid 150 million for the MLS. I mean, come on. Do you know what I mean? Like that's kind of your standard there. And I know obviously there's a lot of money in the American game, but surely that we can get better than what we've been offered here. Doncaster turns up for his work every, 6 months or so for a day, half a day, finishes a few emails, phones the Daily Record and asks the Daily Record what he should do next, and the Daily Record tell him, just sign this, it'll be the easiest thing for you to do. And he doesn't need to put any effort into getting his ridiculous wage. It's shocking. It is shocking. And the rest of the clubs now, I think, have to take a vote on it as far as I'm aware. And it's time that every club in Scotland grow a set and decide to change this regime and refuse this deal, because it's nowhere near good enough. I generally think the BBC would offer us more. I'm not even kidding on. I think they would offer us more than what Sky are. It's an embarrassment. Our game is continuously getting sold short because of these absolute charlatans that run the game up here. It's just not good enough. I mean, it isn't. I actually got, and you can tell that I got angry when I read it, because I was not happy about it. We're just continuing to let this happen, and we wonder why we're not getting good sponsorships coming in. We're not. I mean, we were in the Europa League final last year. I mean, there's going to be TV broadcasters willing to take a chance on this league, even for the old firm itself. So no, as far as I'm concerned, you can put it so far in the bin along with Doncaster, because it's just not good enough. It really isn't. Yes, rant over. Sorry, everybody.
No, that's fine, because I think everyone's pretty much feeling the same, because you know, Europa League final, you say there, we're the 9th best ranked team in terms of coefficient in Europe at the moment, and we should probably have a TV deal to reflect so, although didn't get much help last night with the result for one of the Dundee teams. But no, I totally agree with what you're saying there. I think there should be a much better deal in place for us. It seems like we're getting sold short because it's deals to Sky, but Sky's main market is England. They don't give two tosses about us up here in Scotland. We're a small fraction. I mean, they don't currently show the 48 games that are allowed to show this season. I mean, ultimately, the reason probably that is because they can only show, 18 games, not even 18 games of Celtic and Rangers. Whoever's away one weekend, they'll show, and then maybe show the Edinburgh derbies. So we need to get a deal that can kind of, I think, be better for us in terms of showcasing the game at a higher level, bringing more money in. But it seems that it's really the SPFL here that are doing my head in.
The SPFL are doing everyone's head in Scotia. We've told, unfortunately, Scottish game, I'll use the term again, hates itself to death. We told them about Doncaster. Rangers told everyone about Neil Doncaster and what he was failing to do and the targets he was failing to meet and the poor deals he was getting. I find it strange. The deal that he's agreed, was the current Sky deal up for renewal? Was it due to expire?
24-25, it runs out. So it should start to get into the stage where you open for tender, and he's not even done that at the minute.
But I find it bizarre. I really do find it bizarre, and it makes you suspicious that is there something that they're benefiting out of this, or someone else is benefiting out of this, because it's not any of the clubs. As you say, they should be showcasing, especially, yes, arrogant Old Firm fan here, but the Old Firm should be showcased as this. It's what it is, the best derby in the world for me. And yeah, he should be entering the market. He should be leaving it another year or two and then entering the market and proper putting it out there that we've got a product here and we can but he's not. It's just I find it a strange deal and a strange timing for the deal, and he doesn't care. Doncaster doesn't care. For me, reminds me of a politician. He'll have an ulterior motive in that deal, and I don't like to be that kind of guy, but we told you so. We told you that Neil Doncaster was bad news, and here we are with another. What kind of money is it? 26 million, 27 million?
Around about, been quoted between about 27 to 30 million.
It's rising to like 29, rising to like 29 million or something like that.
Miles off it, and I'm sure he'll get a nice bonus out of striking that deal. It's just, I don't want to be rambling on too much because you know what I'm like. I can get into a pure tangent, but it's Doncaster for me. I'm not a fan of him whatsoever. I think the guy's a bit of a joke.
Sorry, Scotia. Stevens made a point here. The MLS deal was $2.5 billion for every game stream with Apple over 10 years. If that's the case, I mean, that it just shows you how far out Doncaster is in touch with this game here. And we're just letting this happen. The rest of Scottish football is hating itself to death. Ryan is spot on.
Yeah, Carney, you bring that up, and I was going to sort of lead this into with the question to Pearson and his thoughts on it. But I think one of the things you need to consider there is what the MLS TV audience is obviously a percentage of the population of about 300 million people. We have a population of 5 million people, but we've got two of the biggest football clubs in the world. We've just reached the European final, or the Europa final there. We're sitting 9th in the sort of coefficient ranking place. I think Rangers on Tour popped up a wee comment earlier saying that Scotland are currently 16th in the TV deals. So I popped onto Wikipedia just before we started recording here and just had a wee look at things. And the most comparable in terms of kind of population that I could find would probably be your Norwegians or your Danes. And your Norwegians are earning, I think it's about 63 million euros or 63 million pound that their TV deal's worth. So it's ridiculous.
That's you're making me angry. That's ridiculous.
It's frustrating to hear that. You think we've got with the old firm and stuff, and no offence to Denmark, I know they've got like Copenhagen fans are great, but for me, they don't hold what we've got here in Scotland. I just think that's a joke, an absolute joke. Yeah,
I mean, Pearson, what are your thoughts on this? Anything different?
Guys have pretty much covered it. To be honest, it's a joke. It's not even really an improvement of what we've got. To be honest, at the moment, it's an extra couple of million or something. It's pathetic. Doncaster's out of touch with Scottish football. Agree with Carney. If it goes to a vote with the clubs, they should all say no to that. It's devaluing a brand as well. We've got to a European final last season, so Scottish football's on a high. I would say these other teams, and this will maybe be a wee rant, Carney, these other teams that enter Europe, Motherwell, Dundee United, need to come to the party in terms of performances in Europe, because you can flip the coin and go, well, there's Dundee United getting humped 7-0 last night off the Alkmaar. That's why we're giving you 30 million, because we're not interested. Scottish football, we're not interested in Rangers and Celtic. Dundee United that's embarrassing. Yeah. I know they won the first game and fair play to them in the first leg, but to get humped 7-0 and Motherwell as well against it was the Irish team that put them out.
Sligo Rovers, yeah.
Sligo Rovers, embarrassing. So folk will flip it to you and go, well, look at the teams in Europe against, let's say it, well, the Irish League is a diddy league. I know folk look at our league as a diddy league, but the Irish League is a diddy league, and they turn Motherwell over comfortably. So these teams need to pull their socks up when they come into Europe and help us, because we can't just carry the can in Europe all the time. And that includes Celtic to a point as well, because they've not been great in Europe over umpteen seasons, so they need to come to the party this season as well. But yeah, it's a poor deal. But Doncaster for me, 400 grand a year. He's a guy got Doncaster for me. He comes in, does a bare minimum in his work and leaves, and that's it. It's not interested. If you could get rid of him, I'd get rid of him in a minute. But no, guys covered it pretty much. But like I say, these other teams in Europe need to come to the party with us and start to perform. I'm not asking them to get into. I'm just asking them to put a performance in and show what they're about, because Dundee United last night and Motherwell, that's embarrassing. It really is.
I mean, on that, it was a bit, pretty much a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy, really, that we're not getting money because teams are going out and have shown these terrible performances in Europe. So we don't get the TV deal we need, and then so we do need to go out there looking for a better TV deal that can then, you know, distribute a wee bit more money to these teams that can then compete with teams of a similar level from similar leagues. Because at the moment, I don't think they honestly can. I think there's quite a few players that come to Scotland with the view to sort of catching the eye of one of the Glasgow clubs. And I mean, just to round up on it as well, the increase in a couple of million quid in the current deal to show up to 60 games. If they don't show up to 48 games at the minute, they're not going to show 60 games.
Yeah.
Because what this would do as well is it would mean that they would want to show every Rangers and every Celtic game almost, if they could. Which they can't, because then it's an inconvenience for us, because they'd have to move Saturday 3 o'clock kickoffs, which thankfully we don't do very often. And then this wee thing that they've put in to sweeten the deal with the, well, you can have 5 games per season to show on your pay-per-view, but it's not one of the games that we select. Oh, and it also can't between the UK blackout and Saturday. So then you're forcing clubs to then make the decision, do we inconvenience the fans that want to go to a game at 3 o'clock on a Saturday to switch this to a 5:30 kickoff or a 12:30 kickoff?
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Scotia. Just to see the 3 p.m. blackout, I think that is such a thing from the dark ages. Like, I get it years ago. That for me, see if you like, if a Rangers game is shown, I know with particular teams, I get it, but with big clubs like Rangers and Celtic, I don't think that is going to affect the crowds that much. That's what it was put there 4 years ago, and I think like a certain I know there's certain channels show like 3 o'clock English games and like foreign channels and stuff like that. You'll get them on there, but I just think the 3 p.m. blackout is a bit dated and a bit certainly for Rangers and Celtic. I don't think it would affect the crowds.
Yeah, no, I think that 3 p.m. blackout was put in place around about the 60s and stuff, and it was to protect lower league English clubs, that there would be people who will go and sit, if Man U are on the telly, I'll watch them rather than going down to your local team and support. But you're right, it's a pretty archaic rule. But anyway, we could go on for this for an awful lot longer, and I do realise we're getting up to the hour mark, so we better get to the section of this show which is named after the preview of the upcoming Livingston game. Which
Livingston?
We'll get. Oh, sorry, St Johnstone. St
Johnstone. There's a blip off
Done it once again. I never fail to bring you a wee blooper at points. But yeah, we can pretty much get straight into the preview, because there was no Rangers press conference today, and once again they released an interview. Don't know if this is going to become a common thing or not. We can again wait and see how this develops and something we can discuss. But in terms of squad news, Gio didn't really give anything away. So
it was 3 minutes of nothing, mate. 3 minutes of nothing.
Yeah. Indeed it was. So we can just get straight on to the game tomorrow against St Johnstone and look at them. So, I mean, looking just at St Johnstone, their sort of results and performance recently, they beat Motherwell 2-1 last week after a wee bit of a hectic 5 minutes where it swung about, but Stevie May managed to get the goal in the 94th minute. They get beat by Hibs in the opening day, and they get papped out of the League Cup on goal difference. St Johnstone, for me, I had them tipped to be, along with St Mirren and Motherwell, sort of the 3 teams that were going to kind of be battling out for relegation. So it's going to be, I mean, what did we say last week about Livy? Those are probably my thoughts on the game tomorrow in terms of how the opposition are going to be and set up against us. But come to you first, Ali. What are your kind of views on the game and your thoughts on how we need to go about this? Do we need rotation, do you think?
I think we will rotate with Tuesday night in mind. It's just another one of these teams that's going to come to Ibrox and park a bus tomorrow. It's going to be the exact same as what we faced last week against Kilmarnock. They'll come and they'll frustrate us. And it's their right to do it, these teams. It's horrible to watch. As a fan, it's horrible. But we need to break these teams down. And I think we will. Lawrence, Tillman, they've had a couple of games under their belt, and you can see they're growing into the Rangers jersey. So, and they've played against these teams, i.e. your Livingstons, Kilmarnocks, so they know what it's about now. But yeah, I mean, looking at St Johnstone, I'm the same as you, Scotia. I think they'll struggle this season. I think they'll be down down the bottom of the league again. I sells out some of the players. They've got Considine for Aberdeen, he plays for them. Jamie Murphy plays for them. And obviously our pal Michael O'Halloran plays for them. And Stevie May, who seems to be about for ages, Stevie May. But I think we're going to have patience again tomorrow, because it's going to be frustrating. You know how St Johnstone are coming. They're not going to come and play, so frustrating. But at the same time, I'm confident whatever team Gio puts out, and I think he will change a few players that will have more than enough to take care of St Johnstone tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Pearson mentions the sort of domestic games there in terms of, the squad getting used to that, but the way USG played as well on Tuesday night, I think is going to be very similar how St Johnstone set up. So what are your kind of thoughts on how we should approach this?
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think with USG, they'd watch Kilmarnock. They'd just watch the tactics in the Kilmarnock and Livingston game. I think it might have been Ali that said in the reaction pod, that's what they copied those tactics, because that is how to frustrate Rangers, and St Johnstone will come and do that. They won't come to play football tomorrow. I think St Johnstone, have tipped them to go down this season. I think they've fallen off the face of the earth since they're great. Obviously, their cup wins were fantastic, and Callum Davison done a brilliant job. I think possibly get 2 players sold underneath them, the 2 boys that went down south. But yeah, I'm expecting a tough game in terms of they'll just be compact, play the two banks as we see at Ibrox every second week, and it's up to Rangers to break that down. This is not a new thing. This low block is the new term for it, but Rangers have been playing against this for longer than we've been alive. I think I want to see a performance tomorrow. I said it last week, but I want to see a performance tomorrow. Attack is the way for me. I wouldn't be rotating that team. The league is priority for me. 3 points is huge. 3 points is more important than anything for me in my eyes. And then once we get 3 points, then we think about the PSV game. I totally get it, St Johnstone, and you look at PSV, they are the bigger team, and it'll be the bigger danger for us. But the next game is the biggest game for Rangers, and I want to see Gio play full team. What I do want to see tomorrow is some of the guys who are not up to speed yet, like Yilmaz, like Ben Davies. I want to see these guys feature tomorrow, if not a start, because we paid money for these guys and they need to get up to speed quick if we're going to be in a group stage soon, whether that be the Champions League or Europa League. So yeah, I'm just hoping it's a performance, because you know what it's like at Ibrox. You hear people criticising Cholak got it a bit, but they've kind of laid off Cholak a bit now because he's got a couple of goals. I want to see the new boys settle in, because I think we've got a couple of good players on. I was impressed with Lawrence during the week. He reminds me of Lundstrom when he first started, just a bit jittery, a bit overwhelmed by who he's playing with. He'll come good, I'm sure he will, and Tillman as well. So these new signings, attack tomorrow is what I want to see.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, and in particular, like you're saying about getting players up to speed. And for me, Davis needs to get brought up to speed, because if we had touched more in the PSV game, I was going to mention that Sands is a booking away from missing the second leg. So it'd be good to have Davis get a wee bit of game time. But Carney, your thoughts?
Ur Sands loves a booking, doesn't he? I think he's been booked in every start that he's had for Rangers. I think that's the start. I expect another stuffy game. I don't expect St Johnstone to come and try and play a form of Brazilian football or anything exciting like that. I think it's going to be another tough one. But I'm the same. I'm kind of caught into. I'm probably in between Ryan and Ali, to be honest. I can see both points that I want. I don't want full rotation in order that we weaken the side, and I don't want to overplay people as well in terms of what we have coming on Tuesday. But I do think there's going to be rotation to an extent from what we played on Tuesday night. But you'll see by my team when we come on to it that I'm still picking quite a strong lineup, and we're still 5 subs, aren't we? So you can still make 5 subs. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. So there's the opportunity there to take people off, and you have to take people off, and hopefully the game is over and done by. But yeah, I'm expecting a back 10. I'm expecting Rangers to have to be patient again. I'm just hoping it's not a slog like the Kilmarnock first half was. And I know Gio said that it's all about breaking down these teams and putting in the effort on the first half in order for these spaces to come in the second half. But I don't know if that's particularly true or not. I'm not 100% sure how that works. I would rather Rangers just come out, decide from the start that they're going to do everything they can to get the game over and done with, and kind of make the changes when they have to, and control the game. I do expect it. I expect 3 points. I expect an improvement from Kilmarnock, the sort of standard that we got maybe the second half of the USG game will do just nicely, and I can't see anything but a Rangers win tomorrow.
Yeah, hope you're right. I'll stay with you, Carney. You can go start us off with teams and scores.
Right, okie doke. So my team is McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Davies, Yilmaz, Davis, Lawrence, Tillman, Kent for about 60 minutes, Matondo and Morelos for about 60 minutes as well to get them minutes in the legs. And I'm only resting John Lundstrom because I have the fear of something happened to him in a game like this where it's just a wee bit hammer throwing and he gets involved in something, and I think he has to be protected right now. I'm probably completely wrong. Hand on heart, I imagine Lawrence or Tillman will probably drop out and he'll play Lundstrom. I would imagine he'll do that, but because he kind of trusts him. But I'll go with what I've picked. I'll have Lundstrom drop him to the bench, and that's not because I don't think he deserves to play, of course not. And I'll go for 2-0 Rangers and Alfredo Morelos to score both goals.
All right, very good. Ryan, I'll come at you.
I am going McLaughlin, Tavernier, Goldson, Ben Davies, Yilmaz, Lundstrom. I think Lundstrom's like Goldson or Tavernier. I think he just doesn't want to be rested. So I'll go Lundstrom, Stephen Davis, Kent, Tillman, Matondo, Cholak. And I will go 4-0 Rangers. I'm sticking with this 4-0 until we win 4-0. If I need to do that, if I need to do this all season, I'm doing it. 4-0 Rangers, Cholak to score first.
Yep, I hope you keep putting a wee couple of pounds in that before every game. Right, Pearson, I'll let you go last, but I'll go just before you. So you're last. I'm going for the same back five as Ryan, with McLaughlin, Tav, Goldson, Davis, Yilmaz. Midfield, Lundstrom and Davis. Tillman at the top of that. Matondo playing alongside Cholak. And what I would really, really like to see, but I'm a wee bit concerned because we've got Tuesday coming up, is I'd love Morelos to start the game alongside Cholak and kind of see how that develops and give him a wee 60 minutes. So it will probably end up being right, but I would love to see Morelos and Cholak both start tomorrow. And Ryan, like you, I'm kind of going for the score and goal scorer that I have went for in domestically pretty much all the time this season so far, and it's 3-0 with Cholak to score first. Pearson, we'll round up with you.
Same back five, you and Ryan. McLaughlin, Tav, Goldson, Davies, Yilmaz. Same as Carney. I think he might not drop Lundstrom, rest him tomorrow. So it's going to be, strap yourselves in for this one here. Steve Davis, Glenn Kamara. He's going to be back in with Tillman just in front, and then a three of Lawrence on the left. On the right, I think he'll go with Scott Wright, and through the middle, I would start Alfie tomorrow for game 60 minutes. So Morelos through the middle, and I'm going to go same as you, 3-0. Tom Lawrence first goal scorer.
All right. Well, once again, we've all went for quite a convincing score and no goals conceded. So I don't think anyone's been right so far. I know I said we were going to keep up with this, and I am, but I will be doing it. I won't be doing it every week, telling you how we're getting on, because it's not been looking good so far. So we'll leave it to that. But no, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. And that's just about at the hour mark. Thanks for all your comments. And hope you enjoy the game tomorrow. And if you already haven't, we would love it if you could spread the word about our podcast, get them your pals to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Facebook, etc. But thank you guys, and thank you also to my guests. First up, Ali Pearson.
No problem. I'm just going to go and lie on the couch and swelter in here because it is scorching. Hopefully that guy, Scotia, if he drives past the Viceroy tomorrow, doesn't shout Rangers review at us. Hopefully he gets Rangers Club at 22. That was quite funny. But no, looking forward to tomorrow, Saturday, 3 o'clock. it's going to be absolutely scorching tomorrow in Ibrox, which is a bit of a pain, to be honest. But no, I look forward to it.
Yeah, and cheers, Ryan, even though you were a wee bit slightly later, but good to have you anyway.
Yeah, it's a wee half shift for me, Scotia, but I will be putting in my timesheet for a full shift with the gaffer, and I'll be expecting full pay as well. No, cheers, mate. Well hosted, and a wee shout out to the boy. I met him at the back of the Copeland, I think it was, after the Kilmarnock game, and he gave us a shout saying he listens to the pod and he enjoys it. I was too busy watching my dad because my dad just walks away, so I couldn't actually stop and speak to you, but really appreciate the comment, mate, and everybody enjoy their weekend. Play up the famous.
Right, and finally, cheers, Garnet.
Not a problem, mate. Well hosted, Scotia. Good effort at your first Manscaped promo as well, mate. And Ryan, nice of you to join us, mate. Really do appreciate it. And if you think you're getting paid, mate, you've got another thing coming. No, I appreciate everybody again getting involved in the comments. Absolutely brilliant. I am getting out of this room as soon as we stop and come off air because I am very warm. But looking forward to tomorrow, mate. And we will be back on Monday. We'll bring Club Deck Corner will return because we're going to do a kind of preview of the PSV game. Probably quite a shorter show even, but we will definitely be back on Monday to preview the PSV game and go through all of that. But yes, thank you very much. Enjoy the game, and I hope your team wins tomorrow.
Yes, cheers everyone, and hope you all enjoy the rest of the late sunshine, and hope your team wins tomorrow, as Carney says.